Welcome to the ID Club and another Saturday morning coffee show. Josh and Jack with you on this first Saturday of February. Jack, it'll be March in a month. How are you?
Woo! You know, though, it does not feel like February. You know what it kind of feels like, Josh?
Late March, early April?
Not what I was going to say. I'm going a different direction with this one.
Okay.
It feels like early October.
Oh.
Why?
Why?
This feels like a Nebraska football is still exciting Saturday morning coffee show. We've got a day ahead of us.
Yep.
Nebraska plays early, hopefully knocks out the win, and then enjoy a full day of college basketball, Josh.
Ah, gross. What are you talking about?
I'll
watch that game, and I'll watch the Creighton game, and otherwose I'm going to read a book today, Jack. That's my game plan. And I'll have the Olympics on in the background.
Depressing.
Man, it's going to be
so depressing.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be a glorious Saturday. Husker from you says March and April are the worst months.
Wow. January and February were by far the worst months. And I thought that was fairly unanimous for anyone who lived in this area of the country.
Jack and I are so close in a variety of ways. It's no wonder that we've been doing a successful podcast for 3.5+ years. But I think where Jack and I are most handshake memeing is our love for getting excited about good weather and how him and I at this time of year are both thinking about the time change that's a month away and the longer days and the sun setting late and 65-degree day. Like, that's where you and I really butter our bread together, Jack. That's where we do it.
If I ever get fired from my radio show, it will be because I spend way too much time talking about anticipating good weather, trying to be optimistic about good weather, talking about 8 to 14 day forecasts, reading. Like, I will spend an inordinate. That is probably one of the things that is most questionable that I do in my broadcast career is over obsess about that. Yes. There's a good 5 minutes or more of mine. That's probably under it on my 3-hour show that I do that every single day of the week.
We love talking about weather, and that's why we're pals.
We love good weather, don't we? I love what we call it sunny.
It is sunny outside today.
It's an old-fashioned word, sunny.
Well, welcome in, everybody. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the I-80 Club. We would certainly love a like and subscribe. We were hanging out with us. Some things that we have going on today. We'll be on for the next hour talking about Nebraska, Rutgers, and more. And speaking of Nebraska, Rutgers, we are, Jack, about 4.5 hours away from another Nebraska ball hour.
Dang.
You and Caleb recapping a dominant win by Nebraska over Rutgers. It's going to be great.
So much stuff. Yes, we are sandwiching the game today with little. I call this pre-game. Yeah, and then we will go into the post game after a little break after the game.
Yep.
So I would think that'll probably start today with Caleb and myself 1:30, 1:45 today. So
1:45. Holy shit, that's late.
I don't know.
The road game, those road games, Caleb's able to do stuff a lot faster.
Rutgers passes the ball a lot. And so
the clock's going to stop.
They do a lot of chest passes. They go out of bounds.
Like a Mike Leach offense.
They go out of bounds a lot. So
that makes sense.
I think that I don't know what time. I guess I assumed games took like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't really know.
That's March Madness. Well, and speaking of March Madness, a reminder, I-80 Club Road Show. Dancing with the Skurs, baby. Dancing with the Skurs. We are going wherever Nebraska is going. We will be doing that when March arrives. It's like a month and a half away. If you are interested in joining our growing list of sponsors, email us, sales@i80club.com. Look at that, our fancy email
It's not even
address.
expensive anymore.
It's not even expensive.
Thanks to Husker Power Products.
Mm-hmm. So we would love to have you join us as we go to the tournament. Caleb Henry, Jack Mitchell, Mike Schaefer, and me, Josh Peterson. We will all be there next month. And obviously, we're hoping that it is a short drive. We're hoping it's a short drive.
I don't
but
think
if
it'll
it's
be
not,
a short drive.
well, we're hoping it's a drive. At the very least,
I think
we're
people.
hoping that it's a drive.
If I were a consumer, I would hope for the drive just because people will be bored on the drive, and there will probably be content coming directly from the drive.
Whoa!
And imagine if we got a car rental.
Hello.
That
sounds amazing.
Want to be a part of that because man, would they get some cheap love?
Yep.
Cheap love.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my new band name.
We're I like that, Cheap Love. We're expecting a great time. We will have a great time. We would love to have you join us. Seriously, we have a handful of sponsors now, and we're reaching out to more. So if you would like to get in on the action, we would love to hear from you. Sales at ia80club.com.
By the way, we're not, again, like I said, seriously, not high levels. We have 2 levels left.
Yeah.
And one is for your businesses, and they are going to be community partners. And well, heck, I'll just say it. It's $500.
Yeah,
$500 cash or trade. Maybe we might have to work out the trade, but
yeah,
if you do it, you get on all of our gear, all of our signage. You're going to get shout outs on the show. We'll be shouting out the community sponsors throughout the show. You're going to get on our ticker that we've got. You might become the official X of the tour if we can work out the trade that works. That I mean, it's probably too cheap. Is probably what it is. But that's fine. We just want to get we want to get folks involved. And then rolling out soon. I know so many of you have asked, and I keep saying it's coming. And I know I keep saying that, but there's going to be a tier for those of you who want to not only help out, but feel like you're a part of this, which we're going to try and make you, whether you're there or whether you're not, you don't have to be there, but you can be part of the road crew. That's going to get you some official gear.
Yep.
That's going to get you some other perks that we're still enumerating, which is part of the reason that we haven't totally rolled it out yet. And you're going to be able to send little messages on our scroll too. That'll be fun as long as we approve their content. And that will all be a part of the road crew, and you'll get your official road crew shirt. Maybe you get a little special content. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know.
We are very close to unveiling that. I would love for us to be able to do that. I mean, hell, if we could do it.
Love to do it this weekend. I would love to get. I won't guarantee anything because I know how I go, but I hopefully will have the website up for that this weekend.
Yeah.
But
I made the design. The design is basically done. Brendan says that we should make. Yeah, sure. Where do you want me to post it at? Do you want me to post it on the YouTube or in the Discord?
Well, no. If you can get it, just share a screen on the. If that's not too hard,
no, I'm not sharing screens.
Okay,
it looks
we're
like
so
shit.
similar. There it is. Here it is. We agree on the weather, but Josh gets so freaking weird about sharing a screen. Why? Because his beautiful graphics don't line up perfectly. I'm pretty sure that's why.
Because it looks like garbage.
Could you build a second mode for our branding that allows us to share a screen with a third window? Could you do that maybe?
I could. I mean, we could try.
Get off your ass and do that.
Here's the thing. I'd rather just upload it. That's the thing that I like to do. I like to upload.
Hey, yes. Bill Shakespeare, put the book down and get some crap done for the club.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, I will work on.
Put it on Discord then. Yeah. Sorry, people in the public. You don't get to see it yet. That's fine.
Hey, you know what? Hey, that's a great reminder.
It's a perk for being on Patreon now.
If you want, there you go. If you wanna check it out, join our Patreon, patreon.com/i80club.
Matt says, I hope there's a poster. There will be a poster.
There will be a poster. Exactly.
We got to figure that out. We got to make that too.
Yep. So we'll be unveiling that. I would love to be able to do it today. We would love to be able to actually have this in the store for sale today, and we will go from there. I actually just got a text message from my wife. How many of you are going down to the tournament together? It will be 4 of us. Now, we don't know if we're all driving down together because Jack has a morning show. Mike Schaefer has a morning show. I have an afternoon show. And if Nebraska is playing in the Thursday, Saturday, I would probably want to leave on Wednesday and do my radio show from
I will do all morning shows, Thursday and Fridays morning shows remotely.
So yeah, we got to figure
from your bedroom, from your bedroom in the I-80 house.
Yeah, perfect.
Live from Josh's bedroom It's LNK today with Jack and Friends. Hey, everyone.
Man, you're gonna keep me. You're gonna be waking me up.
I will use an especially aggressive radio voice on that morning, I think. Hello, everybody.
Oscar from you says
6:02 in the AM, and here we are on a sunny day in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Husker from you. I wouldn't want to take the Des Moines detour with Jack. Yeah, that's
for once in my damn life, I had to drop my dog off, and I'm going to hear about it every day thanks to D-Lo.
Exactly.
Where did you want me to drop the dog off?
I don't know. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Again, we would love to have you, and we will have hopefully more information, at least for our great subscribers, available on the post-game show today. Just got to make sure that everything is set to go over in our store as we get that thing posted. So stay tuned for announcements there. All right, Jack, should we talk some hoops? Nebraska, Rutgers is not even 2 hours away, and people like you continue to poop in your pants about this game. Poop in your pants people about like this Nebraska Rutgers.
Have you talked to other poopers, non-Rienk Mast poopers?
Yes, yesterday so you joined John Bishop and myself on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Do you remember this? And as we are discussing, Dave Fight hops over into the Discord server and is like, thank God for Jack. Speaking for all of us who are a little worried about this game.
Here's a merch idea.
Thank God for Jack.
If you get in the Thank God for Jack tier, you get an official Thank God for Jack shirt. None of the money goes to Josh.
What?
Yeah, that's the tier.
Who's designing this shirt?
I don't know. Triple B.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
What is the line? 12 and a half?
You know, it's funny. I just went to FanDuel, and there's not even a line over there.
That's something's wrong.
God, what's going on?
Frager's ankle's acting up.
All right.
Mast is puking.
DraftKings, do they have it? DraftKings has it. Nebraska minus 12.5. Oh, but what if they lose?
Puking all over Piscataway.
What if they lose?
Another band name, Puking in Piscataway. Listen, Josh, I think it's a healthy expectation management is always something that I think I like to practice, and I don't think it has that much of a downside of practicing.
Hey, real quick, put a pin in that for October when Indiana comes into town.
Indiana's going down, baby! Upset City! Mark it down now. Upset City, goalpost coming down, Signetti crying. Oh, baby.
Signetti's overrated. Nebraska's going to be just fine against them.
Calandria carried off the field on the shoulders of another player. Quentin Ives, maybe. Oh, crap.
So you're worried. You're worried about today.
It has been. Listen, I got a little used to the dopamine hit of wins.
Yeah.
For a while. And while the Michigan game I would consider the closest possible thing to a win without winning, and maybe more impactful about how I look at the team than other wins have been.
Mm-hmm.
There's just you when you start not to get this hit, you start to think about where your next one is going to come from. And I'm not talking about drugs really, but I mean,
it sounded like a drug reference.
And so, like, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, no, what about Tuesday? What about Wednesday? Am I going to have to knock off a liquor store to get a Nebraska win? Where's this going to come? And what? So you start, it's just been a while since it's been since the Washington game, and that also didn't feel like a win because of
because of the Frager injury.
And
but
Oregon,
they whooped up on, what about Minnesota? They beat Minnesota's ass.
Oh, I forgot Minnesota. Yeah,
that's Minnesota came after the Frager injury.
Fair enough. Minnesota was a good one.
People forget.
But in like the Washington one, which is weird, the Oregon one, which I didn't get to watch live. Like, so outside in the Minnesota one, I still watched, just not at home. I have not been at home for a regular watching Nebraska basketball win since Indiana, I don't think.
Wow.
And today is even not going to be oh man. Let me tell you this real quick.
Well, yeah, and I just realized we never figured out. Are you doing the show after Purdue next week? Have you figured out any of the plans for next week yet?
I
said I'll get back to you on that.
I know,
and that was like
and
a
I
week
didn't.
ago.
I could bring my daughter down here and we could talk about it in front of you if you
Excellent. That might be. I mean, that might help you.
I am my wife is out of town this week, and so I am on dance duty. I'm a dance dad. You can watch my reality show later. And so dance, of course, starts at 11 a.m. And so not that I have to be in there, but that means I'll probably be watching on my phone in the car, most likely. And or unless I want to go find a place that has a TV around there, but I'll probably do it that way. What I'm not going to do, two of the last 3 games, I've watched so many of the recent first halves on some kind of a delay because now,
I always see that tweet where you're like, all right, I'm caught up.
This is largely a great thing. My daughter and my wife have become super fans. Okay. I wouldn't.
And we're not talking about volleyball, folks.
No. And they are not of football, but they are of Nebraska basketball. And there are tons of great things about that because I never really thought my wife would get into any sports all that much. And she has shocked me. She's way into it. So that's awesome. And it's fun. It's like a family. Like we're all excited when there's a game on. Here's the downside. When they are gone somewhere, they've got something. They're like, hey, what we're going to need you to do is not start watching it because we all watch them together until we get there. So why don't you just pause it? You can pause on the DVR. And then if we get there, this happened with the Michigan game. This has happened many games. And then we'll just catch up through the commercials. And then we start doing that. And I'm like, I'm fast forwarding through the free throws. And my wife was like, I want to see the free throws. I was like, why? It's first half free throws. We'll know what happened once we look at the score immediately after. And then
they added a point. They made one of the free throws.
Exactly. And then I start I have such high anxiety when we're not live, even when Nebraska was doing well against Michigan. And the only thing I can think of is getting to live.
I don't watch sports very often like that, but I know that exact kind of crippling anxiety.
I don't know. I can't even explain why. And I put my phone away. And so I think I have spoilers ruled out. I don't know what it is, but I have a mental.
It's probably the fear of somehow still getting spoiled about what is happening.
I guess
right?
I don't know what I was saying this on Mike's show yesterday. What am I thinking? Someone on Twitter is going to realize I didn't respond and they'll come drive to my house to tell me what happened. I don't know.
That would be awesome. Where's Jack at? Why
Did you see that injury?
That's wild.
So I'm not doing that today. I'm sure my daughter would like me to record the entire first half, but she can watch it later or something, which they do. It's crazy. What has happened to these women? It's amazing.
What are you doing today? Real quick, what's the thing that's
first half? Well, I'm watching on my phone in a car. So I am but I'm demanding to watch it live. You've
been saying for years, I'm at the perfect age. I don't have to worry about things anymore. I don't have a child that's 7. And now you're watching every half on your phone.
Not every half. I watched the first half of the Indiana game and now this one on my phone. The other ones I'm taping just because they're gone. I don't have to do anything. But
you should let them know, dears, because it's 2 people. I have a podcast that I need to do, and this is a part of my prep. I need to watch live and participate.
That's what I said today.
Not on the Discord server, but I want to argue with people on Twitter.
I played that card today. So I played that card. That card has been laid and played, and that's what I'm doing today. So Nora only gets to watch the second half. So be it. She can rewatch the first. So that's and by the way, it's February 7. Let's see. So 6 months. Today's my half birthday.
Oh, happy half birthday, Jack. Happy half birthday.
I think I've only remembered my half birthday on my half birthday 3 times in my life.
I never think about my half birthday because I'm not 12 anymore.
Anyway, my daughter is less than 6 months away from turning 16. And then then it's all over.
Then no more DVR for you, Nora. No more DVR. We're watching the games ourselves.
This is one of my last 5 probably trips to dance in my life of the million that I've taken.
Congratulations, Jack. I'm so happy for you. Wow, BTM. I celebrate my half birthday every year. That is great.
I just
happy half birthday, Jack.
I don't celebrate mine. I've just never. Sometimes I'll think it'll be February 10th, and I'll be like, "Oh, damn, I missed my half birthday this year." But I've never actually remembered it when it happened.
Hey, let me. There's a serious comment a little bit earlier from one of our glorious subscribers, and we'll be reading comments throughout the show today and all of our shows from our Discord server. Unless you want to drop us a super chat, Matt writes, "If Nebraska loses today, watch people start bringing up all the close wins as evidence that we should have known Nebraska wasn't as good as their record."
Josh,
I thought
consider that. Josh,
I thought his first comment though. This is where I am at. If Nebraska can't beat Rutgers, even with a struggling Mast, then there's a bigger downer. Then that's a bigger downer than the Michigan or Illinois losses by a lot. I would agree. I mean, like last week stunk. We talked about it plenty. You talked about it on the post-game shows. We talked about it a little bit on Coffee a week ago, though they hadn't played Illinois yet. And of course, the only thing before that was the Michigan game. The like kind of positive reinforcements of a close loss to Michigan definitely got chipped away a little bit with the loss to Illinois, right? Like I think we're all in agreement that was a much bigger bummer than the loss on the road in Ann Arbor was. Yeah. And so like today, I'm not joking. Like I know I kind of started this off by being like, you're pooping your pants. Nebraska, we spent 3 months saying this is a really good basketball team. This is a really good basketball team. They could be a 2 seed. They could be a 1 seed. They could win the conference. And I am not allowing the last 2 weeks or the last 2 games, I guess, at least, change my tune on that to the point where I view a double-digit spread at Rutgers, and I'm like, but what if they lose this game? Because then they are absolutely not who we thought they were. And I don't think that. I think that they are who we thought that they were for, especially starting with the Creighton, Wisconsin, Illinois stretch in December. So what they've been for 2 months, I think they are that, Jack. And I'm not, I guess, going to entertain a loss today until it happens, until it hits me square in the face, and then I actually have to entertain it.
I mean, I'm picking Nebraska in this game, but yeah, if that does happen, it will be odd, Josh, because this is still one of the most, among the many remarkable things about this season is Nebraska has barely even had an extended period of like bad play.
Correct.
I mean, I suppose you can say chunks of that Illinois game were the chunks of the Indiana first half were. Yep. These are parts of halves.
Yes.
Where it just looks like they were, out of sorts and had problems. You probably have to go to like that game we watched together. What? New Hampshire? I'm going to sneeze again.
Oh, yeah, back in December. Yeah, dude, I mean, that was the funny
first
part
half
about
of that game.
Yeah, the funny part about December was they would play name teams, and it was like Creighton, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan State. I know that was at the turn of the new year. They would play those games, and they'd be like, wow, they look really good. But then they would play the bye games, the shitty teams, and they look like garbage. And it was like, what is happening?
Especially in the first half.
Correct.
That SC Upstate was a terrible first half.
That one was awful. That was were they down in the first half, or they scored like
they made
points?
Price went off in the last like 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was terrible. I remember that game.
And
that was bad.
And that New Hampshire one we watched, and there probably was another one or two as well. But like either those points are the low points of the season. Games they ended up winning by 30.
Yep.
In terms of how they played, or it's a section of the game they played Illinois, who looks like they might win the national championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a team they also beat, which is the
team that they beat.
Which is like this is what D'Lo says. The state of Nebraska basketball low point of the season is losing at a likely Final Four team on the road down 2 by a possession, then falling to not sweep another Final Four team. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's still, I mean,
like when you put it that way,
not even having it be a blowout.
Yeah, the hand-wringing about those losses sounds really funny when you view it from that perspective. They lost at Michigan, a team that collectively we have viewed as one of the top 3 or 4 teams all season long in the country, and they did it without 2 of their most important players. And then they followed it up with a loss that was close for 75% of the game, right? It was in kind of the you didn't know who was going to win. And they lost to them even though one of their best players was coming off of puking apparently 15 times recently. And that team is also playing the best basketball in the country right now, not named Arizona.
Right. But they also didn't play well. And I mean, it was, given the opponent, but it's a team they beat. They could have played, they have played better against that team. So if they can take care of business today, Josh, against Rutgers, it just is another notch on that belt. That is the most, if they can do that, honestly, through whatever happens against Purdue, even if they would lose a close one, but they take care of business against Rutgers, those 3 home games that I always group together, Penn State, Maryland, Northwestern. It's wild that they have those 3. Their schedule is, as John pointed out on our show yesterday, is way better than any of the other top teams in the Big Ten. Or not way better, but more less challenging than the rest of them.
And I think Caleb, real quick, brought it up on one of your recent Nebraska ball hours too. Like the way the Big Ten built the schedule, it was so all of the contenders were going to match up with each other. Obviously, Nebraska was not viewed as one of those contenders, and so that's why they got a lot of their tough ones out of the way early. Of course, the toughest game on paper remaining is next week. It's on Tuesday against Purdue. Otherwise, you got Iowa a couple times. You got the West Coast trip, but on paper, Nebraska has the most manageable schedule of any of the top 4 or 5 teams in the Big Ten coming up over the next month, which is awesome, and that's why I just think today is about breathing easier, right? I think everybody collectively, for the most part, is like, they're still a really good team. Maybe last week has them down a little bit, but if they go into this game, and Jack, let's say it unfolds like the other road games before Michigan did. I'm talking Minnesota. I'm talking Northwestern. Not so much Illinois because Illinois is good, where it's like, it's kind of a back and forth game, and then Nebraska explodes in the second half and they win by 15. I think people are going to be just fine on the post-game show today. I think everybody will be in a glorious mood, and they're going to say, all right, things are fine. Yes. Hopefully Mast is better, and let's get ready for Purdue next week.
If they beat Rutgers and it's not a nail-biter, even if it's 8 or 10, and Mast looks good, you jump right back onto the speeding train this season was full force. I mean, Illinois and Michigan, while you would have loved to win them, they are not taking away anymore. And then you go into this Purdue game, and then you win that, and all of a sudden things get to top level weird again, right? We're at level 2.5 weird right now. Get up to level 2 win if you beat Rutgers, and then all of the hopes and dreams, other than the unbeaten, perfect season, best basketball team of all time, is probably out now. But
they have lost. Yes, they can't be defeated anymore.
Right, but unless they get vacated or something. But yes,
interesting. Yeah,
that's why
steroids.
99.9. You say that.
Is there a former NBA player on Michigan or Illinois' roster? Let's find this out and see if we can get those wins taken away from either of those.
I don't know. Illinois has 2 30-something-year-old Eastern Europeans who all probably have like 3 silver medals.
Correct. They probably played with the Denver Nuggets team with Jokic a couple years ago.
Yeah. Those 2 twins on that team, they both got bronzes in Sydney in 2000.
Wow, what a reference. 2000. Good Lord.
They ended up dropping in the semifinals to Vince Carter and those guys. But people forget
D-Lo with a good question. Where are you sitting? And it is Meredith Wilson's The Music Man. Is that the Tuesday night performance that you're going to at the Leeds Center?
No, it's at the Lincoln East Auditorium.
Oh, okay.
It is an orchestra concert, and I don't know.
Because isn't Nebraska Purdue at 6:00?
Yes.
How are you going to be doing the post game show?
I don't know.
It's going to be Caleb and me.
Stop. I don't know.
Caleb and me. Get ready.
I don't know, and I don't know what time, and I don't know if I can leave like after she performs. I know she will want me to, which is amazing.
What a daughter! But she's going to say, "Don't forget
amazing.
To watch the free throws on the DVR, Dad."
Did you see she was like student of the quarter at high school?
Did you tweet that? I missed that.
Of course I did.
I'm sorry.
They misspelled her name, but I did.
Classic.
I feel like that was an homage to me when they misspelled her name.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, but I want to get back to this sort of like running like taking care of business. So let's just say they don't flub up any games that are bad losses. Rutgers, Northwestern, Penn State, Maryland. And let's put at USC in that group. Is that fair?
Sure.
So that's 5 wins. And so that would, and then
that's
of the
27
so just the 5,
25 and 2.
20, that gives you to 25 wins. And then you have these 4 tough ones.
Iowa twice.
Yep.
UCLA and Purdue.
You can, if you are then 25 and 2 with those 4 to go, I think you can lose 3 of those and still be a 2 seed.
Wow.
I think. Nobody I'm not saying it will happen, but if you can and your net isn't going to be killed too much if they're good losses, especially on the road. Like an Iowa loss, and they're bumping up a little bit. So like if that's today is big for that reason. Even if you lose to Purdue, that still you take care of those and you pick off one of those 4 games. That does not sound like much. Like that sounds like low expectations, doesn't it? Given where
well, a week and a half ago, that would sound very much like low expectations. I think we're just trying to figure out where the team is right now, of course, after these 2 losses, right?
It is.
Interesting because Matt goes kind of more on the negative side, can't finish the season 5-6. What you just described is like a 7-2 finish.
Yeah.
Or 6-3 at worst. Yeah. I think,
Jack, 5, 6, 6. Yeah. 6-3 or 7-2.
So last week at this time, we did the show, and we said Illinois was the most important game remaining on the season. Well, they lost that, and so if we're going to be right, well, it's going to be interesting to see what follows next for them. But I look at today, and I'm certainly Rutgers is not the most important game of the season. But after the losses, I wonder if this game is going to foretell the last stretch of the season, maybe more than any of these others, because it is a team where you look at it compared to other opponents in this ilk over the last couple of months that Nebraska has run off the floor. They have beaten all of them by double digits. Remove the bye games. Every team that fits this kind of parameter, Nebraska has won comfortably. They have pulled away at the very least in the second half and sometimes at the end of the first half. And it's been like, all right, see you later. Nebraska gets another dub. If they do that today, I do think that, I certainly, whatever qualms I have about them right now, and I don't really have many. I feel like I'm much more on the positive side compared to a lot of people right now. I feel like is everyone just able to breathe a little bit easier and say, all right, they're going to be fine in the non-Purdue, Iowa, and UCLA games. They're going to be able to take care of business. I think today is almost a permission structure to believe that they can take care of business moving forward in the non-quote-unquote tough games the rest of the year.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, I disagree with the comment that Nebraska can't lose a home game and get a 2 seed. I agree they can't lose one of the bad ones. They can lose to Purdue and get a home game. If they lost to Purdue and 1 out,
you mean in a 2 seed?
They might be a 1 seed. So I mean that's I very much, if that's what he was saying, I very much disagree with that. And yes, I know the 2 line seed is tougher than the past. If I have another person tell me that and act
Jack, it's very tough.
And act like I just didn't consider that in the way that I looked at this, is I'm going to lose my mind. 5 losses is among the very tip top of the records that you will ever see on the 2 seed line. You got 8s, you've got 9s historically. If they get 5 and they're in the net top, 10 for sure, but I'd say maybe even 12. Anybody? Want to bet? Anybody want to bet? Who wants it? These 3 things. All right. They don't lose at Rutgers, Northwestern, Penn State, Maryland.
Okay.
And at USC, those 5.
Yep.
And then they pick up one of the other 4, whether it's at home or on the road.
So you're saying they go 26 and 5?
And 5 in the regular season.
Okay.
And
so they'd be a top 4 seed in the Big Ten, most likely, right?
They'd be a top 4 seed in the Big Ten, and they
most likely.
I think they would still stay in the top 10. Maybe down to 12. That they wouldn't be a 2 seed. I will bet anyone who wants to tell me.
That's interesting. Real quick, when you say top 12, 12 is not a 2 seed. 12 is a 3
I just said in the net. They don't take the exact net rankings.
Okay.
There's been.
I'm a little surprised that you are that bullish when you're like, yeah, and they could be 12th in the net and they'll still be a 2 seed. And I know that the net is a sorting mechanism. We know about these are sorting mechanisms, but I am surprised that you are that bullish that you're like, yeah, they'll be just fine. Obviously, a large part of this is going to come down to what are the records of everybody else.
Yeah,
and what's going on elsewhere.
We'll see. We will see.
Yep. Are you arguing with people now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can tell.
No, I don't like to do that. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let me ask you a question while you type. Concern level about Rienk Mast today, or in general?
Well, I think I have some in general that has nothing to do with the sickness, because we haven't seen him be who he was most of the time in the first half of the season since I would say Michigan State, unless I'm forgetting one. He struggled a little offensively against Illinois. I think there might have been another game where he hit some threes. I want to see him making I want to see the full Rienk Mast experience against some of these teams that don't have gigantic size in the middle, where he the thing that we thought made Nebraska unbeatable at the beginning of the season, or not unbeatable, but incredibly unique, was the matchup challenge he presented, because he was a threat inside and outside. To some degree, that hasn't really been either he hasn't played or that hasn't been the case. And then they've kind of made up for it with the way that Frager and Sanford and Sam Hoiberg have played offensively. It's like a different, they've won a different way. So that's, and then combine the sickness, and I don't know how long. You would think after 6 days, you really, and I mean, with a good training staff, that the only thing I'm still concerned about that is his wind. But he always looks like he's by the end.
He always looks tired. Yeah,
struggling.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, you can make the argument that, you know, if you're going to get sick like he did, that this part of the schedule ended up being perfect because he played and then he gets a week off again and then he's going to play. Like, it's same with Frager coming back. Frager comes back and he looks good. He wasn't as attacking as he normally is, but he looks good. And now, you know, he gets a week to recover even more. And hopefully he is, you know, reverting back to what we have seen from him over the course of.
Yeah, that would be, if you could, that'd be another thing, that if you feel like, okay, it's not just that he's hitting threes, which was great, but he's
that he can attack the rim again.
Yeah, if he gets another highlight reel dunk, that would be very, very nice. So,
yeah, I'm with you. It's been so interesting, and I think we talked about this a little on our subscriber only show on Wednesday. But the way in which January unfolded before Rienk got sick, we viewed as a positive in that, like, wow, they are winning in different ways, and night to night, this player, and then this player, and then this player can step up, and you don't even need him to always be awesome. And I still think that that's the case. I mean, I think that January, you know, was, of course, a huge, you know, positive for the program, in that Frager had some big games and Price had some big games. And, of course, Jamarcus Lawrence still performing well, et cetera, et cetera. But, I mean, I think we'd be lying if we didn't say, yeah, they need that guy to revert to form if they're going to be able to return to that level of excellence that they have shown.
I mean, that would be the most encouraging thing, no matter what the score is, if Rienk and Frager both. And I'm not really worried Frager isn't eventually going to do that.
I think he's going to be fine.
But Rienk is a different situation, because it was when he was healthy too. And
exactly.
I think he is a different player against, I mean, I don't want to do the Big Ten teams, but the Big Ten schedule has featured a whole lot more big defensive challenges. I mean, it's just true.
Yeah.
Right. From Illinois and Michigan, he didn't play against Michigan, but those sorts of teams. Now, I don't know a ton about Rutgers. If I'm being honest, I'm looking. They got this
they
center.
Don't have those lottery picks anymore. I know that those guys are in the pros now.
They've got Ogbole, who's a big he's a 6'10" center. And he leads the team in blocks. Like, but he's 6'10", you know. And then the rest of their guys, there's not, you know, Dylan Grant is their second leading scorer. He's 6'8". I'm not that sounds like a problem matchup for Rutgers if he ends up on Rienk. And then they play a ton of guards. They got a bunch of guards on that roster. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a good matchup. But the thing, and I know I said DW said this earlier in the chat, I think the other reason, Josh, that there is a different kind of trepidation than you might expect, or you treat it a little bit differently, is just because Rutgers games are so weird. They're so weird.
Well, today's game is like truly weird because of the whole card thing, right? Like today's game has this even extra level of strangeness. That there was a comment in the Husker basketball channel a little bit earlier from DW. Does anyone understand this card giveaway that has sold the game out? Is everyone
there's been like
under the arena looking for these
Caleb's
cards and
thing?
Yeah, Caleb put up a quick kernels, and so you can go check that out on our YouTube channel. Obviously, wait until we're done podcasting today.
Yep.
That you can check that out. So Yeah, I mean, Jack, how many times have you brought up the Rutgers game a few years ago? And which injury was it?
That was the Juwan Gary injury game.
One, yeah. We're like, oh no, his season is shot, and then he was totally fine.
First of all, there was another one where the game barely mattered, even though it felt like it didn't.
And they lost too, right? Didn't they?
And they lost that game too. They played. It was one of their worst games of the year. They didn't look. Casey couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Rutgers. I don't even know what this means, but everyone says it, so I'll say it. They mucked it up.
Nice.
People say that all the time. I don't know what that
Reggie
means.
is a big fan of the mucking, apparently. I heard him. Yeah, he's like, I don't like their arena.
I don't know what's going on up there. So, and I mean, other years that they've had not great teams that have gotten absolutely housed down there for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Although they went in and I think 3 years ago, they got a really, really good win. That was when CJ Wilcher completely went off there.
Name that I haven't thought about in 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the atmosphere will be like because
Deal says, is this going to be like a Wednesday day game at Warner when all those elementary kids take the field trip?
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like.
Have you ever listened to a baseball game where it's a kids' day and the noise coming from the radio is just like, what am I listening to right now? It's just like this indistinct, high-pitched chatter for 3 hours. Is that what it's going to be like?
I don't know who the kind of P1 demographic for these Pokemon card things are.
I love old people saying Pokemon. It is one of the funniest, consistent things. Pokemon. What's up with these Pokemans?
That is one of the biggest defining breaks between whatever my generation is and millennials.
100%.
You can consider me an X. You can consider me the XY hybrid. But you can tell if you're talking to a millennial or the other thing you can talk about is if they watch Boy Meets World.
I did. You probably didn't, right?
Nope, not at all. People talk about it all the time. I was in college partying with girls and everything.
Definitely. That's Jack Mitchell. They're like, man, that guy's a party.
That's what I was doing while you dorks were watching TGIF.
Edward's 40 hands over there. He's so cool. Adam says, Kugler saying anime instead of anime killed me. Yeah, that happened on Tuesday's edition of Unemployed with Mike Schaefer. He kept calling them anime cards. That was pretty fun. Matt, I'm not going to read that comment, but that's pretty funny. Yeah, because that's definitely what Jack was. Jack, where are you arguing? I've been trying to figure out who you are even arguing with right now.
I'm not arguing anymore. Now I'm trying. Okay. I pulled up. I'm trying to get to my notes that I made about seating. Because now I want to see if what I was saying was right when I looked back at the other years.
Because I was like, he's not posting in the Discord. And then I was like, oh, maybe he's arguing in the YouTube chat. No, there's no arguments in the YouTube chat. I'm like, is he just arguing with somebody on Twitter right now during the show? I was a little confused.
But the other thing, so I think someone asked earlier, like, can Nebraska still go to Oklahoma City or St. Louis if they're a 3 seed? Yes, they can. In fact, there's still probably a more than half chance that they do. It's just then it's a matter of who is ahead of them. It is, if Iowa State's ahead of them, they'll take either of those. If Kansas would get ahead of them, they'll take either of those.
Mm-hmm.
If Houston is ahead of them, they'll take Oklahoma City first, right? And so once you get to 3 teams ahead of them, whose first or second choice is Oklahoma City or St. Louis.
Yep.
I mean, Illinois, same thing.
Yeah. Basically, all of the Midwestern teams start rooting against them. Really start rooting against them. Like, UConn goes down last night, but, I mean, Jack, that doesn't matter for this conversation.
It only helps that if they would lose again, if they would get on a little bit of a slide, then
yes, correct. Yeah. If they were to slide down just raw seed lines, that would be great. But in terms of them competing with them for like Oklahoma City or St. Louis, like, that's not happening.
Like, out of Houston, Illinois, Iowa State, Purdue, I don't know, maybe Michigan. Do you think Michigan or Michigan State would have? They might have.
No, they're probably going to Buffalo, right? Or
I don't know.
Or Philly. They're probably there. That's where they're.
Isn't St. Louis still closer?
Is it to Michigan?
Those places?
I don't know.
But
United States is a big country, folks.
For sure, Houston, Iowa State, Purdue, Illinois. Who am I forgetting? Yeah. Kansas.
Yeah,
you got to be ahead of all but 2 of those teams.
Yeah, D-Dub says KU getting it together is a problem. Yeah, we need Kansas to start.
Kansas, if you want teams that you really would like to lose, is Kansas and Iowa State, and then Illinois.
And that's not how I feel like of those 3, Illinois is the one that I'm most confident is going to be fine. Jack, we're probably rooting for Illinois tonight against Michigan State, are we not? Because you'd rather have Michigan State get another loss. I know
just get out of there
for Big Ten.
Yeah.
For Big Ten,
it depends what your goal is. It depends what you're cheering for.
I guess I would view Illinois in a way being like the unequivocal best team and kind of pulling away and doling out other losses to Big Ten teams better than everybody just continuing to split these matchups. But maybe I'm wrong. D'Lo points out, by the way, Kansas still has Arizona twice and Houston once. So let's root for those.
That's it. I mean, 3 of those teams, Houston, Kansas, Iowa State, I assume they all play each other at least once during the rest of the season, and then maybe in a conference tournament. So all 3 of those teams shouldn't be there. If Nebraska's a 3, I think at least one of them.
And D-Dub says that Illinois feels locked into St. Louis. Yeah, if Illinois is a 1, they're going to St. Louis. They're not going to Oklahoma City. So
I'm saying either. Yeah,
no, I know. Yeah.
Illinois, if they're ahead of Nebraska, they're going to Oklahoma City. Or excuse me, sorry, St. Louis. Yes, for sure. There's no doubt about that one.
Yeah.
So that if your biggest concern or biggest issue, I don't know. I'm still cheering against Illinois for sure tonight. Yeah,
really.
I'm not worried about Michigan State.
Okay.
I'm not worried about them creeping up and passing. If that's an issue, we've got bigger fish to fry at this point because we were watching them on Wednesday during the show.
I know, but wouldn't it just be nice for them to have another loss where you're just like, all right, they're not really that level of competition?
Because they're already 2 games in the loss column behind Nebraska, right? Or is it just 1?
I don't know. I just think you want to start boxing out those teams. I guess if you're still viewing this as Nebraska,
you're really thinking about getting in the top 4 is what you're thinking about when you do that.
I am. I don't know. That doesn't really, obviously that doesn't matter for NCAA tournament seeding. And if you're still viewing this as how can Nebraska win the league? How can they win the regular season title? Part of me, Jack, I think is, going back to our discussion with John yesterday, part of it is they got to take care of business on Tuesday before I'll start thinking that can happen. And maybe am I overreacting to Illinois? I just think that they're a freaking wagon right now.
Man, that's
what
how
they've done
too.
The last 2 weeks, like going into Mackey and doing what they did, and then obviously going into PBA and doing what they did. Like I am just so.
That's why Nebraska's win over them, if that happens, Nebraska's win over them is going to look like the best win in all of college basketball.
Seriously, if anybody takes down Arizona, that will become the best win in the sport. But barring that, but like
it would have
Nebraska,
to be at Arizona.
Yeah, and Nebraska win at Illinois is it's gonna age spectacularly, and maybe hell, Jack, maybe that thing is just gonna hold them up in this whole discussion for the whole year, and we're gonna get into March. And by the way, somebody mentioned this earlier. I don't think we have an official date yet. Next week should be the NCAA tournament top 16 teams.
Oh, I
release.
Forgot they. Wow, I've never been interested in that.
I know. And Jack, that is going to be like a massive thing for us because all of the discussions we're having right now, first of all, the Purdue game will then be back on the ledger. We will know so much, I think, about their standing and what is needed to get up to a 1 seed, get to a 2 seed, get to a 3 seed, etc. So they will show up. Nebraska will be on that screen at some point in time. It'll be fascinating to see where they fall. Yeah. It'll be very fascinating.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Nebraska.
Kilo says live watch party. Yeah. So next week, real quick, Jack. Sorry, Nebraska is playing at noon. Yeah, they're playing noon against Northwestern. That usually happens in like on CBS in like the late window. Well, God, I hope that they announce that today. When the hell this thing is happening?
The 16 thing. Is it on? So what day of the week is it? Did you say Saturday or Sunday?
Usually it's on Saturdays in the past, and it's always like the second weekend of February.
Man, that will be. I have not thought of that at all.
Yeah,
that will be so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of these things that you learn about when I've had no interest in that whatsoever, and so they're saying if it were today, this would be our top 16, and you can figure out what seed you would be based on that, like the S curve, basically, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And how many Nebraska games will have happened by then? The Purdue, so that's after next week. So
so if I guess it depends on the time. There is a World Jack where 3 games have been played. It's today's game, it's Purdue, and even Northwestern. It just depends on what time they actually release it on Saturday. If they release it during the 11 a.m. game in the morning, then Nebraska will like literally have started. If they do it in like the 3 o'clock window later on in the day, then Nebraska, their game will have been finished.
It feels like if they go 2-1, particularly assuming the losses to Purdue, they'll be on the 3 line.
But if they go 3-0,
they go 3-0, they'll be on the 2 line.
Yep.
Although UConn was on it before. Like, how much do they drop now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like the current net rankings now. Let me check that. I'm curious after they lost. UConn went down to 6. Oh, Gonzaga also lost, by the way, too.
Yeah, to Portland.
They're still ahead of Nebraska in the net rankings. Gonzaga's 9, Nebraska's 10, Purdue's 8.
Right now, I'm looking at Bracket Matrix, and this was updated yesterday, so it does not take into account the UConn loss at St. John's. UConn was the last team on the 1 seed line, and the teams right behind them were Iowa State, Illinois, Houston, and then Nebraska as the last team on the 2 seed line.
If you went by the net, which I know they don't, but if you did, the 1s would be Arizona, Michigan, Duke, and Illinois.
Okay.
The 2s would be Iowa State, UConn, Houston, and Purdue. And then Gonzaga and Nebraska would be your first 2 3s, along with Florida and Kansas. In that situation, just for fun, let's say that would happen. Arizona gets sent to San Diego. Michigan, we don't think is sent to St. Louis. Maybe I don't know. Duke is to
Philadelphia, probably for Michigan, right?
Right.
Is it them or Buffalo?
All right. Then Illinois gets to St. Louis, so St. Louis is out for 1. Iowa State is sent to St. Louis, so St. Louis is full. UConn, Philadelphia, or wherever. Houston to Oklahoma City. Purdue's not. St. Louis is closed then. Purdue's not going to Oklahoma City. They're going to Philadelphia or Buffalo. Gonzaga and Nebraska, I would think, would still be then at that 3 seed, the second team in Oklahoma City, along with Houston.
By the way, D'Lo asks, Zags living off what exactly? What good wins? I'm looking at Bart right now. Their best wins this year are Alabama, who's ranked 20th. Let's see. Kentucky is ranked
better
40.
than you think.
Yeah, they have ranked 41st.
5 quad 1 wins. Yeah.
UCLA, and then Santa Clara, who's 33rd. The issue is they don't
Mary's
have Jack.
Is a quad 1 win. Jeez.
It
is.
God,
I'm looking
ridiculous.
at it now. They're quad 1 wins. They have 5 quad 1 wins at Arizona State, Alabama neutral. They have a loss to Michigan by 40. Neutral against Kentucky. They blew out Kentucky.
Yep.
Neutral against UCLA, and then home against St. Mary's.
See, and this is why, like, I know I made the joke earlier about the net is just a sorting mechanism. This is why the sorting mechanism stuff is important. Jack, none of those wins hold a candle to Nebraska's what? So their best win is Bama. Nebraska, now do the same exercise with Nebraska, and you're going to find multiple teams that are ranked above above what Gonzaga
But
was
the efficiency metrics of the net keep them ahead of Nebraska.
Illinois, way better win than anything they have. Michigan State, better win than anything they have. Indiana, close to as good. Ohio State, close to as good. Like, that's the thing about Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
God, man, it'd be so
nice
I know.
Have
that Michigan win in their back pocket.
The net is not going to like Nebraska. It just, it's got the portion of it, that's who you beat, but it's got, and I don't know what the secret sauce is, but it's got enough in there about efficiency and margin of victory baked into it that it just isn't, a team like Gonzaga is still ahead of Nebraska with the same record and a worse resume.
D'Lo says, where do you guys want to go selfishly for the roadie? Easily Oklahoma City. It would be the biggest party by far. Most Nebraska fans by far. It would be close trip by the closest, right? Like,
don't tell everyone, but shockingly affordable, good rental properties.
Yeah, it's funny. When we started the pod, Riss asked me a question. I asked it on the show, and then she started sending me Airbnbs, and I
got a whole spreadsheet.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to break the news to her. Like, Jack's already been knocking these things.
We can add them to my spreadsheet if they're new ones.
Yeah. So we would love to go. And I forget, is the Oklahoma City, is that Thursday, Saturday, or is that Friday, Sunday?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was Friday, Sunday, because then we could just leave on Thursday, but we'll figure it out.
No, I still want to leave Wednesday night.
I guess, yeah, you still have to do your morning show.
I mean, we could. Yeah, we could. I want to watch the games on Thursday.
Yeah, that's true. We'll figure it out. And then we got to do, the thing that we got to start really doing, Jack, is reaching out to sports bars so we can have a home base. I know.
Podcast. Listen, it's on. It just keeps moving down my list in terms of more important things.
Yeah. Well, that's a great reminder, Jack, as we get ready to say goodbye and watch some basketball. If you would like to, and there's a comment in the YouTube, Oklahoma City is Thursday, Saturday. Thank you very much. If you would like to sponsor our trip, I-80 Club Roadshow, Dancing with the Skurs, email us, sales@i80club.com. We would love to hear from you. We have a handful of sponsors already that have committed, that have even sent us money. Our bank account is growing as we get ready to make the biggest trip in the history of the I-80 Club. But if you would be interested, if you own a company, whatever it is, we would love to hear from you. And stay tuned. We are hoping, I am going to try to make a promise to myself that we will be able to give out more details on the Nebraska Ball Hour later today. At the very latest, Jack, I'm going to promise this. By Tuesday, when Nebraska takes on Rutgers, that merch will be available in our store if you would like to purchase it and help support us monetarily. We will have that available for you.
And then if you'd rather do it, we could do it through a website we're going to make too, but both will work, I think, is what we'll do. And the only other thing I would add to that too, you talked about businesses. If you've got a business if you know somebody who has a business who is in the business of, say business more, is in the business of providing items that could be of use during a trip like this. We talked about rental cars. Yeah. Maybe someone who does wireless hotspots. Maybe someone who does signage. Maybe someone who can load crates of beer into a large SUV. I don't know about that one, but something. There could be a variety of things that we would be willing to trade out for the trip.
Yep.
And we may even be able to trade. We may even just be willing to trade out some gift cards too.
Yes. Yeah. Dilo says, are we doing a live show during the drive down? That is our hope. We hope that we are able to do so.
I would think we should be able to.
Yeah.
If we're driving, I'm sure there will at very least be there'll be plenty of updates and content.
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest issue with that is, are we all leaving at the same time? And if so, when are we leaving? That's the part that it's because we all have different radio show times. If we all did morning shows, it would be easy. If we all did afternoon shows, it would be easy, but we are all on at different times. So that's
interesting question from Dan. He says, I don't understand why OKC is so much more desirable than STL. It's the same distance. I think it's because I don't know. Maybe I haven't been to St. Louis recently. I know Caleb wants St. Louis because he's super familiar with it, but I just hear everyone say good things about it. I've been to Oklahoma City. I guess I know.
Well, yeah, because I think part of it too is maybe the nostalgia of the baseball tournament back in the day, right? Bricktown, all those things, and so people are always like, "It was awesome." Yeah, Bruce says less expensive. Yeah, it is. It is a little cheaper, which is obviously nice for us. We're looking for something a little bit cheaper. I think that there is just an expectation that Oklahoma City will have more fans, more Husker fans.
Better weather is another one. It's the same distance, so I don't know that it makes a difference, but a little bit more easy for our logistics to get someplace to stay.
Yeah.
But St. Louis would be fine too. Yeah. And then Caleb can be our tour guide because he went to college right in that area.
One of my my best pals, he lives down in St. Louis, so that would be I know he is rooting for that very hard.
And I don't have to drop my dog off. The whole family isn't coming. It's just
interesting.
Dog will stay home.
Is Johnny coming? Do we know for sure if Johnny is making the trip with us?
If we have room for him.
Nice.
If we have room for him and he doesn't have another better opportunity come up, I guess you always have to asterisk that when you're talking about a college student.
That's true. I
told him he has to work for us. If he goes though.
You got to put out some TikToks for us. All right, Jack, as we get ready to say goodbye, a reminder, like and subscribe on the way out the door. We've been doing a ton of stuff on the I-80 Club YouTube channel. Of course, Jack and I roll twice a week at minimum. Saturdays free, and then we go on sometimes Wednesday nights. We're thinking next week we might be doing what we did last weekend, so stay tuned for that for I-80 Live, which is available only to subscribers. If you would like to support us in that way, patreon.com/I-80 Club. Plus, the Quick Kernels family is expanding. Yesterday, Nate Rohr did 2 videos.
Those were great.
Yeah, recapping the softball win over Washington, the loss against number 1 Texas. Those are available. Caleb did something about the Olympics yesterday as well. Plus, we had a Big Ten breakdown yesterday. Unemployed with Mike Schaefer. We had what's that? 5 things that we did yesterday alone, Jack? Yeah. Holy crap.
And Caleb's done a great job expanding the Quick Kernels. And if you don't know what these are, they're just less than 5-minute videos that our team does, mainly him, but we're actually developing kind of a ridiculous team, to be honest. We're adding people like Nate onto the team. And it's after a game or a news event, or even just, like the Pokemon thing. We do a quick explainer, and while we do put them on our YouTube page, They also live on our other social media pages, which are small, but we are growing. So if you are on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, those exist now. Now, the TikTok one, I think, is titled Quick Kernels. It'll eventually be the I-80 Club. But please like those, share those. That would be a huge way you can help if anyone is interested in doing that, because they're small and we want to increase our reach with that. And then those of you who aren't members of the club, do that. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, we would love if you do that, because when the tournament comes, you're going to want to have live alerts on.
Indeed. All right. We'll be back later today. Jack and Caleb will for the Nebraska Ball Hour. Hope to see everyone there. 1:30-ish start for the post-game show, and off to the races we go on another weekend. Jack, before we leave, Super Bowl tomorrow, who you got?
Who's playing?
Who's playing in the most important football game of the year?
Give me the Patriots.
Okay, I'm going Seattle. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the Nebraska Ball Hour in a few hours. Bye-bye.